All right, now that we've completed a good chunk of the tutorials, we're going to move on from the header and the footer down to the border and shadow area. So this is actually pretty self-explanatory. Border and shadow, well, I don't know if it gets much simpler than that. And each one of these zones is going to have an area where you can actually control just exactly how much border, what type of border, and exactly the color that goes into it. So let's take a look at the header up here. We can see that currently we have a 1 pixel border that's in a solid pattern, and it's a hex color of 35, 33, 36. So that's kind of a medium gray. So really what you need to do is, if you have a hex code that you're using around the site for an accent color, or you want a specific one, go ahead and copy it from another area and bring it in here and paste it into this zone. But what you can do, if you see, we've got it controlled by 1 pixel. So let's go ahead and make this 5. It's the border here on the base of the header. And as soon as it refreshes, you will see that that adjusts and turns into that pixel. So, I mean, you can set this as much as you want or as little as you want. We'll go ahead and bump it up to 25 so you can see that take place. And there you go. So then you can simply just take this line of code the way it is, or actually before we do that, let's go ahead and do this. You can also go in here and there's a shortcut code to W3 Schools, which will also show you some different patterns you can use, but you could actually make this into some different items, like say dashed. If you go dashed and then let it refresh, you will see that it puts a break in that line. So there may be some times it called, maybe you want just a 2 pixel dash, so that a nice and small and kind of a finite dash that separates the page. Well, there you go. And it's easy to do. You can also do dotted, which is another major pattern that a lot of people will use for different types of stuff. Maybe you want clean, kind of cool lines that run around the edge, and you can adjust the pixel size right here and watch those refresh as you work. And so anyway, there are a number of different ones. You can find all the different styles of line patterning at W3 Schools through the link right here at border bottom. But then it's real easy too, just to take that line and say you want that to be repeated on the top as well. Go ahead and paste that same line of text up into the other area, and you'll see that you get an additional matching line at the top. So that's the same, and we've given you this on all the settings for the core as far as this goes. When you look back to the list, you look at it and we've got header, the top bar can be adjusted, alert bar, all the navs, all the different areas that the portfolio items can be given a border, and shadows. And so this is the border control section, but then we've also got shadow control. And so if we look at the header, we can also see that there's a box shadow. And so this is going to be a situation where we are going to be putting in a line that looks, let's see here, like this. We're going to go ahead and copy this one. Then we're going to go back to the header. And you can actually put this in right here in the main area. And what this does, it describes for this in CSS a shadow, and you can see it come up right here below the logo, below that dotted line. And then you can control the amount. Each one of these controls a parameter, whether that's left, right, top, and bottom. And then also the density level. So let's take this out to also 20, and you'll see that it moves out that fade. And then we can actually make it darker. So this RGB color right here is actually the call out for black, 0, 0, and 0. So on most computers, you're going to be able to find an RGB call out, or any of the main web browsers out there today will have that call out for you. And then we also have it set to 0.1% or 10% fill. So if I take this to a 0.5, you're going to see how dark that shadow will get here momentarily. There you go. So these CSS shadow parameters can be applied to any aspect of these boxes in here, from a horizontal rule to the footer widgets, to the tags that are on the site, to items in WooCommerce, to the portfolio pieces, and we currently have a border on those already. So anyway, these are just some quick and simple ways with borders and shadows that you can give a little drama or density and depth to your site without a lot of hassle. So without further ado, we will move on to the next tutorial. Thank you.